I've been back from Italy for 3 weeks and I've been eating out quite a bit because I've been working 6 days a week, with working for my personal holistic chef clients. And then on top of that, catering Christmas parties every single week. Plus it's my husband's birthday. So there's just a lot going on. And so I thought this would be a great opportunity to show you kind of how I've been doing flare-free math in real time. So you can get a feel for how to do this for yourself in the next few weeks as you are out traveling for the holidays with your family. So first things first, I try to eat at least 80% flare-free at home, especially when I'm busy like this. If I'm not super busy and I can control it a little bit more, I'll probably try to reach for 90%. But 80% usually keeps me pretty good, so that's usually what I try to stick with. So that means, out of the 14 possible meals that I'm going to eat in a week, right? Because for me personally right now, I only eat 2 meals a day. 11 of them need to be at home, okay? Scratch-made, flare-free meals at home. And then 3 of them each week can be out at restaurants, okay? Now, I've eaten a total of 10 times in 3 weeks, so I'm slightly over where I need to be, but so far I'm feeling great, and I'm going to tell you why. So, first of all, I do try to make sure that if I'm eating out, I only have 2 of my trigger foods at a time, okay? And so I also work on making sure that I'm ordering things that will be very well balanced, full of veggies, full of protein, full of fiber, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, all those things that we need to help keep inflammation low, right? I'm not going out and eating just a plate of pasta and some bread. I'm not going out and eating a burger on a bun with French fries. Like, I'm really trying to make sure I'm getting a well-balanced meal, and I'm going to be breaking that down for you. Also, I'm trying to make sure that I drink as little alcohol as possible. So far, I've had 2 glasses of wine since I've been back from Italy, so I think I'm doing pretty good. All right, so I've had Korean food 4 times. There's something about Korean food for me that brings me a lot of comfort. And when I'm super busy like this, I really want comforting meals, especially if I'm in the kitchen all day. Yesterday, I was in the kitchen for 9 hours and 15 minutes straight without any breaks. And so when I'm in the kitchen, and Saturday I was in the kitchen for 11 hours straight without any breaks. So when I'm in the kitchen cooking all day long like this, the last thing I want to do is go home and eat anything that I've ever cooked, whether that's a freezer meal, leftovers, or even cooking something from scratch, which is never going to happen after a long day of cooking. But it's more than just like I'm tired, I don't have energy to cook. It's more like I don't even want to eat my own food, if that makes sense. So I typically turn to things that bring me comfort that somebody else has made. And for me, Korean food is my favorite type of cuisine. And so I've eaten that 4 times, okay? Now you can see Korean food in general, unless you're getting something that has cheese on it, which there are only a few things that come to mind that in all of Korean cuisine even has cheese, it's usually dairy free, so that's great. Now the sauces and some of the side dishes and maybe soups will have minimal gluten because they use regular soy sauce, and regular soy sauce contains gluten, okay? And because a lot of their food is super savory with tons of garlic and scallions and toasted sesame oil and lots of spice, they also always balance it out with sugar. So there can be sugar in the sauces, there can be sugar in some of the marinades and some of the side dishes. So I try to make sure that I go heavy on the vegetables, which Korean food in general is just very vegetable forward. So the first time I had beef and vegetable stir fry with rice. That came with a cup of miso soup and that classic Japanese salad that has like that carrot orange dressing on top. So the marinade on the meat had soy sauce, which contains wheat and sugar. Other than that, it was good to go. Now, the second time I had Korean food, I had a kimchi sushi roll, which doesn't have raw fish. It just has like those crab sticks, which now that I'm thinking about it, I believe those crab sticks actually have gluten in them. You have to Google that, but I'm pretty sure that's true. And then I got a side of miso soup with that. So miso soup, the miso paste has gluten in it, okay? So I'm not the type of gluten-free eater that's going to not eat miso soup or not eat like a dish that has soy sauce in it. I'm more the type of gluten-free eater that's like, I'm not going to order a burger with a bun. I'm not going to order pasta. I'm not going to order noodles, okay? But if you want to take it to the extreme and skip the miso soup and any of the marinades that may have gluten, or maybe you have celiac if you're listening to this, please do. But I eat gluten-free except for at Asian restaurants in things like this where it's like something that is minimal. because I tested positive for being at risk for developing celiac disease. Plus, non-celiac gluten sensitivity is very, very common and very rarely diagnosed, okay? And on top of that, people who have lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, and MS and Hashimoto's are very sensitive to gluten. A lot of times it's very popular for gluten to be a big trigger for people with those conditions, and I have rheumatoid arthritis. Okay. The third time I ate Korean, we went for Korean barbecue. We ordered all of the unmarinated meats that you can get, so there was no soy sauce, no sugar on those. And you wrap it in lettuce. That was served with rice and kimchi, and then we grilled some vegetables as well. So that was really great. The only thing is we did dip our meat in this Korean barbecue sauce, which has miso paste and sugar in it. So there you go. And then lastly, I ordered kimchi stew, which is a great option because it has no sugar, no gluten, no dairy, obviously. But I also had a craving for spicy rice cakes, which is it's rice cakes with vegetables and then a spicy sauce, which has sugar. Okay. I ate lots of vegetable side dishes with that. And then I also had a glass of Chardonnay. Now, when I went to Mexican food, we ordered in once and we went out once. I got the same order both times. This was completely gluten, dairy, and sugar-free. So I get steak tacos on corn tortillas with cilantro and onions with a side of guacamole salad. That's pretty much my order every time I go to Mexican food. It's very satisfying for me, and it's gluten, dairy, sugar-free. The reason I eat this is because corn is a trigger for me, and you really can't avoid corn at a Mexican restaurant. I mean, you can if you were to get like a plate of steak with beans and rice and a side salad. You absolutely can, but I love tacos, so here we are. Now, there are some restaurants in Nashville that I've found that actually offer lettuce wrapped tacos instead of tortillas. If a menu ever has that, 100% I'm ordering that. The place in our neighborhood doesn't, so there you go. All right, we went out for pizza once. We got like a veggie and pepperoni cauliflower crust pizza with a side salad that had chicken and a bunch of vegetables, and I did have a glass of Prosecco there. So that was gluten and sugar-free, but dairy. Okay, and then we went out to breakfast twice. The first time I got a carne asada bowl that had like lettuce, rice, black beans, steak, guacamole, pico de gallo, a little bit of queso fresco, and then a really yummy chipotle aioli. So just a little bit of dairy on that. Otherwise, gluten-free, sugar-free, great. Lots of vegetables, lots of fiber, protein, etc. And then the last time I got a chicken and chorizo avocado omelet that had like literally just a couple, maybe 2 tablespoons of sour cream on top, some pico de gallo, and then a side salad, which was just greens tossed with lemon juice and olive oil and potatoes. So that was really great as well. So that was all gluten and sugar free with a little bit of dairy. Now, we stopped and got movie popcorn and some candy because we were driving around to see all the Christmas lights in our neighborhood. And so that was just a little added thing. It wasn't like going out to dinner, but it was just something else I wanted to add in there. So far, no flares. I have not had to take any fish oil or turmeric since the last time I had to take it in Italy. And I've been feeling good, despite being super busy and eating out way more than I would like and even having a couple glasses of wine. So just to show you that, if I were to go balls to the wall and eat a bunch of gluten, dairy, sugar-filled fried foods, carb-heavy foods, desserts, breads, etc., every time I went out to eat, I would definitely be flaring right now. But because I've achieved autoimmune food freedom, where I only eat things that I know are going to agree with me, and I use flare-free math so that I can, if I'm eating my trigger foods like I showed you, in this video, I'm eating them in moderation so that I don't flare, okay? Because I've achieved autoimmune food freedom. So it's like, how do I explain this? I don't find satisfaction from sabotaging my health every time I go out to eat, okay? Because in the past, I would do that because I hadn't gotten to a point where it's like, nothing I eat is more important than how I feel. Back then, I would still self-sabotage because I was like, ooh, I want this, I want that, I want X, Y, and Z, right? I would eat the churros, I would eat the burger with the bun, I would eat, you know, the regular pizza. I would go to this place, Bella Napoli, at the farmer's market maybe twice a year and get a regular gluten crust pizza, like a proper Italian style pizza. But now I just order the cauliflower pizza, you know? And so because I've been focusing on getting lots of veggies, lots of protein, making sure each meal is well balanced, and only having 2 out of my 4 main trigger foods at each meal max, I'm doing great, right? I don't have any flares. I'm not laid up in bed. I don't have pain. I don't have to take medicine. So I feel like it's a major success. I hope you have found this helpful, that you are experiencing some of these successes this year. And if not, you can start to really work on this in the new year. Some of you guys in the group are really close, I believe, to achieving autoimmune food freedom somewhere within the next year. I can just see it in the choices that you're making when you go out to eat. And I'm so proud of you. I want you guys to keep going, keep working. But remember, even if you were to decide to get the burger with the bun, even if you were to decide to have the churros or the real pizza, it doesn't mean you're doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean you're failing. It doesn't mean you're not making progress towards your autoimmune wellness goals. You guys are doing great. It's all a part of the process. Flares happen. They're not failure. They're just data and information for what you need to do next time. I hope you find this helpful, that it motivates you to use flare-free math as you're dining out in the next couple of weeks. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays. I love you guys. Be well. Let me know if you have any questions as always. Take care.